My family keeps excluding me from important moments. I finally realized when I was excluded from that important moment.
We figured it out.
And I was alone, sad. I, 34 female, have 2 sisters. I'll call Sally, 31 female, and B, 28 female. I'm close to both, or thought I was. B got married a few years ago and has been having fertility issues. She and her husband finally conceived through IVF, and I was ecstatic for her when I found out she was pregnant. By the way, this comes from Lobster Lopsided 6038. If you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OK Storytime. There have been a few times over the years where I felt purposely left out of things. I was the only one who never got an invitation to B's graduation. She thought I wouldn't want to go. When our grandfather passed away, they had a big family get together a few days later, and I was the only one not invited. They didn't think I'd want to go again. When B had her baby shower, she organized it on a day when she knew I wouldn't be able to attend. Although upset at missing out, I dropped off at my parents' a beautiful hamper full of things I'd been buying for the baby, and B included a handmade blanket that one of my aunts who recently passed had knitted for my little boy when she found out I was pregnant 6 years ago. Throughout her pregnancy, B has said that the day she had a baby, she only wanted our parents and her husband's parents to visit the hospital, and that they wanted the first 24 hours at home by themselves, no visitors. Totally understandable and fine by me. B had multiple medical complications throughout her pregnancy, which has meant she has to have an early C-section. I spoke to B the day before and told her my day was clear at work, but not a lot on, and that if she needed me, she knew where I was, and that I couldn't wait to hear from her. We didn't know the gender or anything, so I was excited. On the day, I got a Facebook call around 1 p.m. from B, in which she and my dad introduced me to my beautiful nephew. I was delighted. B then handed the phone to Mom as the nurse came in. My mom then informed me that Sally was there. My joy turned to devastation. I asked my mom why I hadn't been invited to the hospital too. She said because I was working, they hadn't thought I'd be able to go. I told her that was an issue for me to deal with, and that if I'd asked, my manager would have let me leave to enjoy the moment. My family, but instead they were all enjoying that beautiful moment without me again. I hung up in tears for my mom. I've removed myself from the family group chat. I spoke to my manager at work, who said she would have definitely let me leave for the afternoon. I was shocked my family had done that. I messaged my mom afterward and told her how upset I was. And her response was, "I'm sorry you feel that way." My manager said she's gaslighting me and that my feelings are absolutely valid. But was I overreacting? Am I the a-hole for hanging up on my family? After Thursday, I didn't hear anything from my family at all until today, Sunday. I was scrolling through Facebook and saw that all of my brother-in-law's family were at the hospital on Thursday too. So the only people not invited were myself, my significant other, and my son. I messaged my mother after I saw this and explained how I was now even more upset and asked what I've done. Her response was that I've done absolutely nothing, not to my sister or anyone. She tried making out that Sally went to the hospital of her own volition, which I do not believe. She would not have just turned up. She would have asked. My mom said that because I was working, they'd assumed I couldn't get time off. I explained, I manage my work and how I manage it is up to me. If they asked and I declined, that would be another matter entirely. Anyway, I've told my mother I'm going low contact. Now, this isn't the first time I've been excluded, and I'm deeply hurt by their actions. That is it for now. I'm going to focus on my little family and my in-laws, who I saw today and were very loving and supportive. And we got another update, John.
Aw.
Do you want me to get straight into it?
Yes.
B contacted me last night. She said she didn't remember ever telling me that no one was allowed at the hospital, and that the plan was always for all of her in-laws to go, and that she had already had a conversation with Sally about her going too. She said I must have misheard. I gently reminded her that my significant other had been sat in the room at the same time. She had said no one at the hospital other than parents, so couldn't see how we'd both misunderstood that. That the first thing he had said to me when I told him Sally was at the hospital was she said no one other than yours or brother-in-law's parents. She then said she had been upset that I hadn't reached out to her after the FaceTime call to check on her and the baby, and that she'd refused to chase me. I told her that I had no idea what had been going on, whether she'd been discharged or anything, and that as a new mom, I figured she wanted some time, which is understandable. I didn't expect her to chase me. She told me that they've had to go back to the hospital daily since they were discharged, as the baby has been poor. I told her I'm sorry about that. I genuinely am, and that I hope he gets better soon. She asked me when I'm going to see the baby. I told her I didn't know, and that would depend on an invitation. She told me the invitation is open, but that she's feeling really sore and bruised at the moment. Understandable. And doesn't know how she's going to feel, so that I need to put some time aside and check with him first if we did want to go through. I left at that in the end, as it was gone past 10 p.m. and I needed some sleep. I'm honestly not too sure what to do. I spoke with my significant other last night, who laid his thoughts and feelings down, which was total no contact, but that he will support me whatever I decide to do. And we have another update. We're about halfway through.
Oh, God.
Another update.
Give it to me.
I messaged B back and told her that when she was feeling up to it, to let me know a day and we would go through. She left me on red and didn't respond. That's fine. I'm letting her get on with it. As for my mom, she's been sending messages and trying to FaceTime me. I've barely been responding to her messages. I haven't heard anything from Sally or my dad in the last 2 weeks. And this evening, my mom FaceTimed. I wouldn't have answered it, but my son was next to me and got giddy when he saw his grandmother pop up on the phone. So I did. Also, yeah, it's sad. It's like, you know, he has a relationship with his grandma, but they're being so terrible to OP that it's really hard to even have that relationship with the whole family.
We got to put grandma in a nursing home.
Put grandma in a nursing home, dude.
Put her in a room, lock the door.
Yep. Throw away the key.
I don't know where the key is.
She tried to act all normal and nicey nice, but I was blunt. I could tell she was miffed at the end of the call that I was still being off with her. After the call, I messaged her. Probably shouldn't have done it, but I did, and it's done now, and told her that until I got a proper face-to-face apology, this is the way it's going to be. She messaged me back and said she's apologized loads. She sent that, I'm sorry you feel that way, and one message that did say that she was sorry, but in the middle of all the other waffle that came with it, and nothing face to face. And I told her that she'd tried to gaslight me the first time and only tried to apologize once over text. She FaceTimed me again and told me that she had not tried to gaslight me, and she was sorry that I felt that way. And I quote, "You just let your feelings get the better of you." I told her again that no, that is not an apology, that my feelings are valid. She then said she was sorry, turned on the waterworks, and told me she couldn't do this anymore, hung up. So yeah, that's up to this point. Other than that, I've been good, just focusing on my son and significant other, my day-to-day stuff with work, etc. I've actually been okay, sort of come to terms with the fact that I'm not going to have that close-knit of a relationship with my family anymore. But that's okay. I have my significant other, my son, and my in-laws. They're the ones who need to be the important people in my life. And update 4, for the last few weeks, a lot has happened. My mom and dad have both apologized, and we're working on a relationship. Whether you agree with that or not, that's the decision I've made. Sally also came to see me, and we talked through the whole situation like adults. We both apologized to one another for how we made the other feel, and we've been okay since. Not back to normal, but better than it was. While Sally was at mine, she suggested I be a bigger person and reach out to B. After a few days and mulling over her words, I messaged B and told her I would be taking my son to see our parents today. She said she would come through. Yes. My son's significant other and I got to my parents this morning for 10 a.m. We had to leave at 11:30 a.m. and we've had other things going on today. 45 minutes later, B shows up with her baby, now 5 weeks old. My mom asked B to let me hold him. B refused. So we needed to talk first, which was fine. I commented on the baby, asked how they were all doing, even gave her a gift that me and my significant other had picked up the other week. Just a stuffed toy, nothing crazy. B gave one-word answers with my mom, filling in all the other details. At one point, B handed the baby to my mom and left the room for about 10 minutes. My mom asked me to go see her. I refused. She barely acknowledged any of us since she came to the house. She came back in and again barely spoke. As we were packing up to go, B said she was sorry for being quiet, that she was feeling awkward after 5 weeks. She said that I'd upset her by not contacting her to check on her and the baby. I told her that I knew she had a lot on, being a new mom, and the baby is exclusively fed, not a lot of sleep, and that she was recovering from surgery. And I hadn't wanted to hound her. She started shouting at me, calling me ridiculous. And that's not what sisters do. That sisters are there for one another. And I had hurt her feelings. She continued to shout at me whilst holding her baby about how she never said I couldn't go to the hospital, and I misconstrued and construed what she had said, and that she doesn't know how this will be fixed. My
Impossible.
significant other, mom, dad, tried to defuse the situation by saying they could see both sides and that even though we were frustrated with one another, we needed to calm down and just talk. B then started shouting at my parents, saying she was sick of them taking my side. At that point, I couldn't even say anything. My son was in the room, picking up on the frustration and anger from B and asking to go. I told my family we were leaving. My mom and dad followed us out, and I broke down when I got in the car. My mom asked me to go back inside. I couldn't. I was too angry and needed to remain calm for my son and for the drive home. B came to the door with baby, said she didn't want me to go like this. I told her, tough. I tried, and all she had done was shout at me. My significant other tried to get me to turn around and go back, but I couldn't bring myself to. I was so upset. I just wanted to come home. By the way, the best home for you or anyone, man, woman, child, dog, is the OK Storytime podcast. Listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. Well, there's another little update.
Oh.
So my mom rang me when we got home asking if I was okay. I broke down again and said no, that I tried. But all B had done was shout at me and tried making me out to be the liar. She'd taken absolutely zero accountability for what she said to me, and my significant other all those weeks ago, my mom and dad actually both commended me for staying so calm whilst B had shouted. I told my mom I refuse to be a parent who loses it in front of her kid, and in order for me to remain calm, I'd need to leave. My mom and significant other say I should contact B again once I've calmed down, but I honestly don't even know what even say at this point. So yeah, for those that are interested in any of this, that's where we are right now. Boom.
Wow.
Boom. Yeah, dude, there were sisters in that story for
Dude,
sure.
there were Sixers. There were some hot ducks.
Hot ducks with
Oh my God.
backs.